Okay. So my name is Matt Tytel. I work at Leap Motion. Have you guys heard of Leap Motion before? Okay. So for those of you who don't know, I'm just gonna show the visualizer really quick, and I'm also going to disable the images. That's better. Okay, so we do hand tracking, and we have a device that's like this big, and it's a USB device. And so if you see my hands, you'll see the virtual hand representation on the screen. And we're releasing our version 2 software pretty soon. Right now it's in public beta. And so you might, if you've used our old version of our software, you might see a lot of improvements. Like if I turn my hand like this, you don't lose the fingers, because we're tracking a full hands and also forearms and like each bone and joint position. And so you can track like 2 hands, and there's a lot better like occlusion, so I can like overlap my hands like that, or maybe sometimes I can like interlace my fingers kind of, and like twiddle my thumbs. And so there's all these improvements that allow you to do a lot more interesting applications. Like I'll show you later, we can like pick things up with our hands and do other things like that. So I'm just going to, I don't really have very many slides. I'm just going to show you a bunch of demos, really. Let's see, I have one more slide with all the links you'll need. I think that this is online, so you guys can just go to these. Our assets that I've made all these demos with are on the asset store, so you can download it from there. If you type in Leap Motion, the one that says V2 skeletal, yeah. So, okay, now I'm just going to show you just a bunch of demos, and we'll do a little bit of live coding, and then more demos, and that'll be it. So, I'll take some questions at the end. So, I'm just going to take you through the progression of the assets, so it'll start out simple and get a little more complex. So one of the first demos I ever worked on was this one, because I just really wanted to touch things. That was like the first thing I wanted to do. So this shows a physical hand that can interact with blocks, and so I can like push them around. For some reason, it's running a little slow on the projection, but it's a lot more responsive. So I can like scoop blocks up in my hands, move them around, push them. I can use 2 hands, like scoop blocks up. Hooray! Yeah. So so I was showing these demos to a lot of people, and like pretty much immediately, people were like, I'm gonna grab a block in my hand. But the way this is modeled is with just box colliders. So your hands aren't like really rigid boxes. So we had to do something special for that. So you can kind of grab it like that, but it doesn't really, it leaves something to be desired. So like the very next demo I worked on was this demo. It's a ragdoll thrower using some of the. I don't know if you've used this guy before. He's on the asset store. Unity made him, but it's like so this one is the same hand, so you can like throw these guys around. But something we added was using the pinch gesture. If I pinch like near one of these guys, I can pick him up in my hand, and I can like throw him around, throw him against the wall, and I can like try and throw him through a robot's mouth. So this is like, I really wanted to make a game like Black and White, which is like, a god game where you're like controlling your minions, but like, that was a much larger application. This took me like not very long after I had the hand. So so that's like, I really want it to exist. It's just a matter of time, I guess. Someone will make, either I'll make it or someone else will make it. Maybe one of you guys. So that's the next demo. I guess. Okay, so I'll just do some live coding next, because I don't really. Okay, where is Unity? Unity, there it is. Okay, so I just have the assets loaded into an empty project, and so if we go into the main assets folder and you go into Leap Motion. So it'll just import a Leap Motion folder, and you just go into there, and we can go into the scenes to see a whole bunch of scenes that come with it. I'm just going to show a couple of these. Let's see. What did I want to show? I forgot now. Yeah, okay. So I'll show this weird one first. This one's really simple. It's just like a bunch of prefabs rotated around, and then that's it. There's no code in addition to the assets. And so this one is just so you got your hand, and I just duplicate it in 8 times around, so you get this like really kaleidoscopic thing, and so you can like do weird like buggy, bug, 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 or you can like do 2 hands that are like, so it's like good for performances or something, and it'd be really cool there's no physics here right now because there's nothing to interact with, but it'd be really cool like in a game to interact with things in a weird way, like you can make a bowl with your hands. If I put my hands in the right direction, like a bowl, and then you can scoop things up. So that's like not something that you would do in real life. That's something you do only in a game or virtual reality or some. It's like really weird things that you can make in a computer that don't really have a physical analog. Yeah. So some of the other things I want to show are we set up these. We ship these interaction assets that allow you to pick things up, and so I can just show you that really quick. That's knock these blocks down, and when I hover over them, they're like they highlight, and I can pick them up. Just like move it around, like put the other block on the block, that kind of thing. So if you want to like pick things up and move them around, then those assets will be useful for you. So I'm just going to do make a new scene really quick. And new scene. Okay. And I'll go into the Leap Motion folder, which is just an assets folder. And I'm going to go into the prefabs and just drag the hand controller into the scene. So if you click on it, you see, and back up, you see the field of view. So there's like a little virtual Leap Motion in the scene, which is like the analog of the real Leap Motion, real space. So your hands are going to be above this device, so they'll be above that device in the scene. And if I like rotate around, it's kind of like a cone sphere. It's like a section of a sphere. And wherever that is, the hands will appear. So if we run this, it's in front of the camera. So yeah, so see how the camera is kind of looking at the field of view. That's what you want. So if I put a light, let me put a light in here first so it's not ugly. And run it, and you just got the hand right there. Yeah, so you get multiple hands. You could have as many hands. If someone else came up here, I could have 3, but not right now. Yeah, okay, so let's just add a block to this scene. Just create a cube and put it just kind of over the device. And then add a rigid body to it. And disable gravity because there's no floor. And just to show you like the physics that I was using with the big block scene, it's just right there. You didn't need to do anything. I just had a block that I can interact with. So it's pretty much works just by putting this hand controller into the scene, and then you can interact with things. If I wanted to enable the interaction, like picking things up, I just need to add two scripts, one to the hand controller, which just sets up the entire interaction, and then one to the cube, which what's it called again? Leap interaction. And right now we have per object interaction settings, so you can like pick up one object in one way and pick up another object in another way. It's kind of useful if you have a bunch of different objects that act differently. Yeah, so if I play this again, I think that should work. Yeah, so zooms into my hand. And there's a bunch of parameters, like the predefined rotation, that's why it flipped around. So I just uncheck that, and we'll generate some anchors to grab. And then now I can grab it like that. Oh, don't float away. Yeah, so that's the interaction engine that we've shipped with these assets. Okay, so that's some like live coding. How am I doing on time? Okay, I'll show some more demos because that's kind of like to do. So I'll take questions at the end if you guys have any questions on this. So this is kind of like a sneak peek of like what's going to come out. So yeah, I'll just show it to you, and then this is something I'm kind of excited about. So these are. Before I start, there's like some music with it. With Leap Motion, I really like interacting with physical things. So that's like mostly what I do is make physical things in Unity using like spring joints and hinge joints and all that, like to make these structures, and then I can interact with them like, you'll just see what I mean. So it's kind of like, can you guys see that? It's a little dark, but okay, so something cool about this one is I can pick these blocks up and they glow and I throw them against the wall and make these little oh, a little too high, but so yeah, so that's the grabbing from before, except with this nice like little, I just really like that pulse. And then I can make these robots come out and I can like roll it over. And it's a little dancing robot, so I can like make another robot come out. So he's a sad robot, and this next one's my favorite. This next one's my favorite. I really like this one a lot. So this guy. Yeah, I'll just do one more because there's only one block left. Yeah, it's so you get these guys. I can like toss them around, and, like pick them up, and like put him on his head. It's a little hard to stack him on his head because he's kind of bottom weighted, but yeah. So there's all these weird things you can do with these guys, and it's really fun to interact with things, interact with like physical things. It's not something that's really common in games, I don't think, unless you play like a physics game. But that's like, it's not as intimate, I guess, because you don't have like your hand in there interacting with it. So, yeah, so that's that demo. I'm gonna show one more demo, and then I'll probably open it for questions, and then maybe show a couple more demos because that's like what I like to do. So, so this one, okay, I really like trees, so like the speed tree I was really excited that was right before me. So. But I made a flower, but it's not as like crazy as theirs. But so it's just yeah, so it's like an interactive flower. So you can like toss this guy around, pat the flower, and a little pollen comes off. And it's nice. And there's like these lily pads that are all like floaty. So like this is something I really like to do is like make these like nice physical scenes. I can pick one of these leaves and like throw it. And like pick one of these petals. And there's some Debussy in the background, so it's like nice for the petals like falling down. That's probably won't come out in like the end version, like this music, but yeah. I'll just pick the flower part. I mean, it's kind of, it needs a little bit of work because it's like a really destructive thing, just like picking about this flower, but you can do some two-handed things as well. Oops, I dropped it. Never mind. Well, get back here. There's too many things. Yeah, so let me restart it. Can I restart it? There we go. Okay. There we go. Ah. So this guy still needs a little bit of work, but something interesting in this one is that I'm interacting with different shapes of objects. So like these petals are flat, and the stem is like a stick. So like when I pick one of these petals, it stays in my hand in between my fingers like a piece of paper if I grabbed a piece of paper. And if I grab the stem, if I can pick it up, there's too many things in the scene. So it's kind of hard to figure out what I'm picking up. But then the music's a little distracting. Yeah, then it like sticks in my hand like I would hold a flower. So I just like kind of orient it like you'd hold the flower. So it's like there's like a lot of things you can do to make What am I trying to say? Yeah, so there's the big objects like, you can grab and like twist around. And there's these flat objects you can grab and like it's like a piece of paper. And then there's like one less dimension for the sticks. So yeah, so that's like all the demos I want to show before I ask questions, or you guys ask questions. So does anybody have anything? Yeah.
So how much will it cost for users and how many are handling?
Oh, okay. So the device costs $80 normally, and we're selling it this week for $65, so it's like $15 off. And the assets are free. So once you buy the device, assets are free. Oh, there's something else I wanted to show. So I realized that like a lot of people, like say you have a Leap Motion, and you want to make a game, but like you don't want to make just an only a Leap Motion device. You can also use Leap Motion to record like hands like in their scene. So let me show you what I mean. Yeah, so let's look at this hand controller really quick. And I have my hand here. So say, let's customize this really quick first, actually. So let's click on the hand controller. There's all these, in the hand graphics folder, in the prefabs, there's all these things you can pick from. And I can change the way the hand looks by separating out the left and right. Just click it, which makes a different model for left and right. And I'll just show you two hands at once. I'll make a humanoid hand for the right hand and a robot hand for the left hand. Like that. So it can be like here. So this is the right hand, so it's like a rigged hand, and here's my left like robot-like hand, so I'm like a cyborg. And so, but it's the same physics. I just swapped out the graphics. Yeah, and we didn't update the rigged hand with the forearm yet, so that's something we need to work on. So back to my point. You can mirror the z-axis, so I can like come from this point. So I guess what I'm trying to get at is that you can do these recordings, so you can like make a hand boss, because that's like what's the deal with that? Like, how many games have hand bosses? Like I can think of Star Fox, because that's the one I think of. Yeah, I can't remember is that the original Star Fox with the. And Super Smash, that's the biggest one people think of most, with the white glove hand. But the Star Fox is the one I remember. I think it was the one I played first with yes, and he has the two hands. You have to shoot the hands. So you can make like things like that. Is it running? Yeah. So it'll be like Arr, and then you have to shoot the hands or something. And we have these recording features that aren't out yet, actually. So they'll be out in a week. I just have to submit it to Unity again. So if let's see if I can does it record? Yeah. I didn't. I have to set the keys. But yeah, it works. I just don't want to waste any more time. Okay, I'll take more questions now. Yes. Okay.
Is there guidance on how to sort of identify which virtual objects you're actually interacting with and selecting? Is it just having a single interactable what you're seeing?
Yeah, so there's a couple different ways. Like there's our interaction utilities, which were made separately from some earlier scripts. So there's ones that just look for the closest rigid body and then it grabs that and like pulls it towards you. But there's also ones that, like the interaction utilities, you attach a script to the objects you want to be able to grab, and there is like some useful functions that are like callbacks that will let you change the color. I'll go back to that scene really quick just to illustrate what I'm talking about. Is this opening? Why isn't it opening? Open. No. Well, I'm not sure why it's not opening, but okay. When you hovered over a block, it would change color. And so, like, if you were going to grab something, it would be a different color, and then when you grab it, it turns a different color. So it's like it shows the internal state. So that's something that's really useful if you're making these types of interactions, is that you show what your internal state is. So if something's about to be grabbed, and then you show it as a different color, or something like that. Yeah.
Is that something sort of provided by your scripts, or is that something?
Yeah, there's a callback that you can like hook into. So you can make your own function to set the color, but there's also examples that will that show it working. Yes.
Will your device work with Steam, like on Steam?
Yeah, I mean, wait, on Steam, the Steam OS, or I'm not sure. It's built on Linux, or is that right? I don't really know much about it.
It's CentOS.
Okay. I don't know. I haven't tried it, so I don't want to say yes because I don't know. But who's next? Someone over here. I don't want to forget you, but yeah, I'll go to you.
What about recommendations for integrating into VR, like Oculus and stuff, where the actual device would be, or be attached to the head?
Oh, cool. Well, you should come by our booth because we have this Oculus demo with pass-through. That's like, because there's two cameras in here, and they're IR cameras, and so what we do is we pass them through to each eye, and so you get 3D with like, it's like infrared, so it's like one channel, but it's like, it's kind of trippy because it's like night vision goggles, because it's like you don't have to have there's an infrared LED on here as well, so you can be in the dark and like look around. Like if you wake up late at night, you put on your Oculus with the lead motion.
Separate from the actual device, you put the lead motion device down on like a counter, or is it attached to the actual?
Well, yeah. So we have a top-down. Let me just show you the settings in lead motion. So the allow images. So that's one thing we care about privacy. So we don't want to like automatically allow people to grab your images. So you have to check that. And then if you want to look for top-down, if you want to do it from Oculus, you just enable top-down mode. And I'll show you I didn't apply that. And then if we go in the visualizer, then you see the images. So that's like the left. One of them's the left camera and one's the right camera. Probably the left and the right, but yeah. So you can just plug this straight into the Oculus. And there's some assets in here that aren't out yet, but if I show these really quick, then real-time camera viewer, there, okay. Oh, it doesn't open again. I don't know why it's not changing scenes. But we have this asset in here that'll be out in the next week that will undistort it because the images coming are distorted because there's lenses in here. So we undistort it, and then you can plug that into Oculus. And we'll have some demos really soon, some example projects. Yeah.
Can you make your own hand models?
Yeah, so yeah, there's an example using there's a rigged hand, and there's a whole bunch of assets that are actually like segmented into each bone. And I prefer those because one, I think they look cooler, and then two, it's like the rigging. Yeah, I guess I wasn't familiar with rigging when I first started, so like I was more comfortable just like moving objects around. So that was like, yeah. But yeah, there's some examples, and you can just change you can just like drag. There's like these. So if you want to change, like swap out the bones, like for the segmented one, then you can just like pull out the whatever capsules are in there and like put whatever objects you want. So the robot hand that I showed you, and then like the white one hand with the donut as the palm, those are made with the same code. There's like different graphics in there, so you can just like swap that out. I saw a hand back here. Yes.
I was just wondering, we have the SDK1, yes. Is the hardware changing?
No, the hardware is the same. So you can just upgrade the software, and you can upgrade right now. It's developer.leapmotion.com. You just download it and try it out. Yeah.
Are there no gestures that you can recognize, or can the developer train gestures?
There's no training right now. I mean, we've thought about it, but we wanted to do it right before we actually do it. So we don't have any like training data right now. But there are some ones. There's fist and pinch, and because I'm using pinch strength, which I just say if it's greater than a certain number, then pinch, and you can change that to tweak it whatever you want. So there's gestures like that. There's also like the ones that were in the old one, like circle gesture and tap and other things like that. You can like find out all the stuff that's on our developer website. Yeah.
It works for Windows too, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Works for Windows and Mac and also Linux. Yeah. So yes.
So are these those interactive utility scripts and these example tutorials, or is a lot of that going to be coming with the SDK too?
It's well, you have to download them separately. Like these assets you download from the Unity Asset Store.
I know they will be available.
Oh, they're available now. Yeah, yeah. Just a couple things I didn't like. The recording and the images are not available yet. I just have to upload it to the store. They'll be available in a week or something, however long Unity decides to. Yeah. Did I say a hand back there? Or was that just somebody going like this? Okay. Yeah.
If there's nobody else, can you show us the recording?
Yeah. Let me shut down. Unity wasn't loading the scenes, which is why I wasn't. Oh, really quick. I'm running out of time, but we're hiring a Unity developer. So if anybody wants to work at Leapmotion and they use Unity a lot, and just email me. Let me put that up really quick before I do the recording. It's right here. Okay, yes. Just email me, mtytel, Tytel. Yes, and is everybody done taking? Okay, I'm going to show the recording. I'm just going to ask this one, answer this question. We're in San Francisco. Yes. Okay, let me do it really quick. How am I doing in time? Do I have a couple seconds? Okay, record playback hands. Oh, darn, it's okay. Well, I put it in the scene temporarily, so that's playing it back, but I can record a new one, or I can, let's see. So I messed it up, but so that appended to it. So yeah, it needs a little bit of work, but it's like the stuff's there, and it saves to a file in Leapmotion Recordings. This file, so you can like load that back.
What kind of data is that?
It's some serialized frame data. We might be changing that so it's like an animation or. But I haven't looked into that yet. Right now it's just serializing the frame data, the data that's coming from the Leapmotion, and then loading it back immediately. And that has the physics too. So like if I was ever recorded that, and then it plays back through the same pipeline, so the physics are still there. And do I have time for one last question? Okay.
How many hands have you tried to fit on?
I've done 4, but that you kind of run out of physical space, and we could get everybody up here and try and everyone put their hands in. Okay, I'll just cut it off there. Thanks, everyone. Yeah.